When you select the option for Select an Event from the main menu, this is the page that you'll see. The very first thing you see is that your event is more than one day, then each day should be set up as a separate event. For example, if you have a weekend membership drive, you have to set up an event for Saturday and another event for Sunday. The first part of this form is self-explanatory. Enter the name of the event and, if so desired, the location of the event. Then, using the calendar drop-down, select the date of the event. Properly setting up the slot descriptions is the key to setting up the event. Now let's step through this with a few different scenarios. Let's say this is a basketball free throw contest being held at the high school gym. It starts at 9 a.m. and it should be completed about noon. We would like to have about 8 volunteers for the event. When we enter the event name, and we will do that right now, basketball free throw contest, and we enter the location. It's at the high school gym. And then we go to this date drop down and we set up a date for February 8th. Now we come to the slots. Since it's only a 3-hour event, we don't need different time slots or specific assignments. So for this description, we'll just enter the word volunteers. And then how many volunteers do we need? We would like to have 8 volunteers for this event. So we select 8. Now, we can no longer change the description or the number of volunteers needed after volunteers have been entered onto the event. All right, now we want to give a brief description of the event so that a potential volunteer will know precisely what they are volunteering for. So we'll enter the following information. And what this says is this event will start at 9 a.m. Therefore, please arrive by 8:30. As a volunteer, you will select each participant, give them instructions, and then keep score for the participant. The event should be completed by about noon. Now, the comments do not have to contain a lot of detail. It should be general description of the event, giving the potential volunteer a general idea of what will be required of them. Now let's clear this form and enter another event that is a bit more complex. So we're going to clear the form right now. Now for this event, we need volunteers collecting charitable donations outside the local Walmart and handing out Tootsie Rolls. The event will go from 8 a.m. until 4 p.m. We cannot expect a volunteer to spend an entire 8 hours doing this. Therefore, we'll break it into 2-hour time slots with 2 volunteers for each time slot. The form will be completed as follows. We will call the event Tootsie Roll Collections. Okay, and the event is going to be held at outside Walmart. And we'll set up this event on February 1st. Now for each slot, we will enter the time period required for each volunteer. So starts at 8. So the first slot would be, let's be a little more specific, we'll say 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. And we need 2 volunteers. The next slot would be 10 a.m. to noon. And again, 2 volunteers. And then from noon to 2 p.m., 2 volunteers, and then 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Again, 2 volunteers. For the comments, we'll enter the following. Which says, please arrive at least 5 minutes prior to your shift. Aprons, posters, and Tootsie Rolls will be provided. For your 2-hour shift, you will solicit donations, and for each person that gives a donation, offer them a Tootsie Roll and thank them. Now let's try one more event. We'll call it a Valentine's Day dance. It'll be held at the high school gym and begin at 7 p.m. and be over at about 10 p.m. For this event, we will do the following. But first, let's clear out the previous event. Okay, now we have this Valentine's Day event. So we'll enter the name of the event. Valentine's Day dance. And again, at that popular place in the neighborhood, it's going to be at the high school gym. And what date do you think we should do for this? How about February 14th? That seems appropriate. Now for the slots, we will enter various assignments. We will need about 6 people to set up. So if we do a setup, and we need 6 people. It will probably take about 3 hours to perform the setup. Next, we will need 2 people at the door collecting tickets. So ticket takers and door sales, we need 2 people. Then we may need 2, maybe even 3 floor assistants, ensuring that everyone that enters is properly seated. So if we say floor detail and we have 3 people for that, we're set there. Then we will probably be selling refreshments, beer, soda, wine, hot dogs, etc. We probably need about 6 volunteers for that. So if we say food and beverage sales, and 6 people for that. And then finally, when the event is over, we'll probably need about 6 people to do the cleanup. So we'll do cleanup for 6 people. For comments, we'll enter the following. This event will start at 7 p.m. Therefore, we would need to begin setting up about 4 p.m. If that's all you signed up for, your responsibility will end at 7 p.m. You can either go home or, if you purchase tickets, attend the event. The collecting of tickets will probably begin about 6:30 and should be completed no later than 8 p.m. Refreshment sales and floor detail will be during the entire event from about 6:30 until 10. Finally, cleanup will begin about 10 and should be completed by 11:30. So now we have these 3 events set up. And if you would like to see how they would look to a potential volunteer, if you go to the home page and click on volunteer, it'll bring you to a page where the volunteer will be required to put in their email address. There'll be a help button on that screen that will show you what these look like to the potential volunteers. Thank you.